So, yesterday I completed my first raid in Destiny 2. Don't have a long history of raiding in the franchise as a whole. Destiny 1 completed Vault of Glass, I think on normal and hard once each, and I sold Crota's End in year 3 because it's a cakewalk. First raid aside, LFG4 was Scourge of the Past. Wanted to check out the setting being the last city, and I heard it wasn't too difficult or long, because I already had plans later that day. After about maybe like 3 minutes, I would say max, of waiting on my LFG site, got an invite, joined the party, introduced myself. Turns out I was the only newbie there, but I wasn't too worried. It was the same case with Vault of Glass those years ago. One member did a detailed rundown of the first encounter with the streets, rooftops, batteries, maps, berserkers, all that good stuff. My loadout and newbie status went with defending the map reader. I thought to myself, I'll see how these players do it, and when I raid with my friends, I'll have a good idea of how all this goes. Defending wasn't too hard at all, since the hunter that was using the map had Celestial for the servitor, if I was too busy taking care of vandals up close or far away. I think we wiped once or maybe twice because of a couple of mistakes when moving batteries, but within 20-30 minutes maybe, it was done, we moved on. Next was the sewer maze. You should know, they didn't really explain what our goal was here, but that's fine. We were stuck for a good 15 minutes because nobody was too familiar, or I don't think they used a guide for this part. So I was wandering around for what felt like ever, and all of a sudden saw a crack in a wall that led to a big drop. So I ended up asking them what exactly we're searching for here, and they said, well, there's this big hole here. One by one they all came to me and we made it out. The next phase was, of course, escaping that spicy servitor on our sparrows, SRL style. I had my fancy little Crimson Days sparrow from like a year ago, made it about 70% through until a teammate and I were a little too slow, and I died while he made it so close, but didn't quite make it to the end. For our team as a whole though, we were able to complete it with 3 Guardians remaining, got our loot and moved on. Though at this point, I had received a threat level shotgun. It had quick draw and field prep. Not bad, not amazing, definitely good for panicking it seems, with a faster reload and a quick draw status on it being a kinetic. But it did look badass, so it was for sure coming with me. The next phase was us destroying the construct in the Abatza ruins. At this point, decided to split into teams again, stayed above ground as I had my machine guns and shotguns ready to kill the big boy servitor when commanded to. And on this phase, we wiped a couple of times due to a couple of minor mistakes below, but it was relatively painless in the end. Saw Warlock use their well when the tanks were out and thought, does this buff the tanks? Made sense to me, so I put mine down. It seemed like the damage difference was there on Insurrection while sitting in the ground. But I'm still not 100% sure. For me, it was a thought that counted there. I'm doing my part. And now, I find myself facing something that reminds me of a little game called Metal Arms from a couple generations ago on like the Xbox. Insurrection Prime. And a fire team member having to leave, the saddest moment. Didn't take too long to find new Guardian, but just enough time for a bathroom break, which is important. We kept the same person as map reader that we had at the beginning in the first encounter. I did ad clearing with my weapons and helped shoot the weak points on Insurrection Prime with a couple others. And the other remaining players did the Berserker slaying. We got the Drake out, and the Insurrection Prime shields were down. We went to work. Should say I was briefed on this thing called CAP, Continuous, Angular, and Parallel, being 3 different areas to shoot from. And this had to do with the roles given to us by the game itself for the damage phase in this encounter, and where we should position ourselves to shoot. Of course, where to drop walls of radiance, since the game still kind of centers around those a little too much right now. This is where the Darcy becomes a monster for DPS. All 6 of us brought out our Darcies and unloaded on that little servitor inside Extraction Prime. Did good damage in the first phase. Not a kills, a couple of us got shuffled around, but it was fine until we wiped. In the end, it all worked out. Kept on pushing on and on. In our 4th or 5th attempt, we took down Insurrection and got to check out the vault. Now I grabbed my loot, being a rocket launcher and the Sparrow for the raid, which looks pretty slick. I like its little design, and the blacks and reds really appeal to me. I'm a simple man. The rocket launcher had quick draw and moving target. Another weapon for kind of panicking almost, but the real speed masterwork will be fun for casual use, that's for sure. So, now that we're at the end, what are my thoughts on this raid? It was really fun. Wasn't too mechanically overbearing. Was able to stick to lighter rolls so I could understand everything for future runs, and I got a threat level. Shotgun I really did want. Parts of my raid were my favorite were definitely the Sparrow section where you're driving away from the spicy servitor, and the final encounter with Insurrection Prime. Prime has a really cool design style to him, and the varied projectile attacks it has makes it so you can't stay too still or forget about him, because he might be able just to use his missiles on you and take you out no problem, or he might be able to blast you away, or even then the snipers could take you out. or the map reader, and you don't want that. You need them. You need to stay alive, and especially the map readers to stay alive. Can't really compare it to other Destiny 2 raids because I haven't played them yet, but comparing to Vault of Glass or Crota, I honestly like this more. Vault of Glass did have a really cool epic scale to it, but the aesthetic that this has was just really cool, and the location being the last city already made me really interested, and it was a little more direct in like what was going on story-wise and linked up to the Black Armory. Vault of Glass did have story stuff going on, but to me it wasn't as like direct, so I didn't really care too much. Compared to Crota, this is way better. Crota was I sold it, so it kind of says a lot in design. It's not really difficult. The area itself for Crota was really cool back in the day, though. I'd love to see that area again in Destiny 2 once Shadowkeep comes out. But of the 3 that I played, I like this the most. I like the pace it had. It wasn't too long for future runs. I'd be much more interested in playing this a lot, and I look forward to running this with my friends in the future. They haven't raided yet, and I'd love to introduce them to it. So next, what do I plan to do? I'm planning to tackle maybe one of the many raid layers we have at this point. Maybe after I do Eater of Worlds, because Eater of Worlds is a cool looking shotgun. That's really about it. That's kind of the big reason. And after I do the 2 raid layers and maybe Crown, I might end up tackling Leviathan. I'm going to save Last Wish for later on when I'm feeling pretty experienced, because I know that one is a lot more technical and demanding. But I'm going to try and do all the raids over time, and I'm especially going to be running the Black Guardian one when Shadowkeep comes out, because I can't wait to go back there. For now though, you can expect my next video to be over Destiny 1 strikes. And then after that, Gibbon Tim's Bizarre Adventure Part 2, Episode 1. Arigato for watching, my fellow humans. Be sure to click on another video of any type that is or isn't mine so you can stay entertained in some form or another.